All right, I want to tell you guys this real quick story. There's this little geek that happened to come to an event that I did some years ago. I'm calling him geek. I'm joking. He was in a room like this. I was doing an event in California. This was right after I retired, and he came to the event, and he came up and he asked to take a picture. I said, okay, take a picture. And then I didn't hear from the guy for a long time, and then I got an email from him, blah, blah, blah. Remember that whole thing I just showed you about what I do? Okay, well, this guy wanted that. But I wasn't giving it out. I was done. I was retired. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you guys how to do that. Okay, so I want him. Can you get up to that mic there, Stephane? This guy, this handsome Frenchman, is that guy. You can turn it that way. Sure. So tell what happened, because he just at lunch showed me this picture, and I'm like, oh, you got to send that to me.
Yeah, I was really afraid to get that picture out. I said, I'm going to take a screenshot of that picture, and I'm going to show it to him. It's going to be small, so don't worry. But now he shows it on stage, that's crazy. What happened is these were days I was really struggling in the business. I attended that event. I didn't speak English. I showed up at the airport. It was in LA, and I showed the cab, where I was going because I couldn't explain. And so I attended the event, and that's when I met him and took that picture. And years after that, like during all this time, I was struggling, trying to build my business. I was just like there sitting in the back of the room, trying to learn as much as I can. I was reading books that I didn't understand all the words. And so it was quite a struggle. And then after years and years of struggling in the business, of trying to find my way, of investing in personal growth and skills and all of that, the more I got to buy all these trainings, the more confused I was getting. And so I was beginning to lose more and more of my confidence. And when you lose confidence, guess what happens? You do what? Nothing, right? And so I was trying to implement a training that could have been good, but because I lacked the confidence, I was not bold in acting on that training. I was not implementing it fully. So I reached out to this guy, sent him a couple emails, and finally he reached out, and I got to, and I tell him, Tim, I'm not in any company right now. I'm looking to build again, and I want to work with you. I want to, use to sponsor me. He says, well, I'm retired. I'm not building anymore. And I said, well, it's fine. I don't want you to do presentations or three-way calls or anything like that. Just tell me what to do, and I'll go do it. And he accepted. What happened during that period of time is, and by the way, it took quite a while just to get him to understand what I was saying. All right, so, and finally he says, well, what we need to do, and that's one thing you need to understand here, not that all the trainings are bad, is that sometimes you need to put your confidence in someone else when you lost yours. And I had confidence in this guy. I knew he would guide me. And so that's why coaching was important for me, to have a mentor that I could trust and that he could tell me, okay, just focus on this, and I would do it. Without questioning, I would just do it the way he asked me to do it. And so the one thing he got me to focus on was his new training that he had just released called Professional Inviter. And so I got on that training, and I would listen to the CDs. But understand this, I didn't speak English, just a few words. So I would play the CD, search the dictionary, try to find the words he was saying, write it down, listen again, back and forth, play, pause, back, all the time. And I would start to learn not just what he said, but how he said it. And so sometimes I would get on the phone with some people who know of Tim and say, hey, am I talking to Tim? And so I got in the habit of, talking like him. And so basically I learned his whole training, but I studied it. He said, just focus on that, because the one thing you need to master is inviting. Because if you're able to do that, you can work online, offline, wherever you are. If you're able to invite someone to review information, whether it's through an email, through a video, whatever method, if you're able to do that, you're going to have prospects reviewing information. So that's what I focused on, and I got really, really good at that. You know, I used to have maybe 1 out of 10 to review information, and at that point, once I studied all of this training, actually it's 96%. So I tracked everything. You know, this guy is crazy. I mean, he got me to track every single thing. So I had thousands of leads that I tracked everything. So I knew 96% of the people I talked to would actually say, yeah, tell me more. I want to review information. And so, so I got to that point. So inviting was really crucial in my, you know, success, basically. So that's what I did, is I focused on that one thing. And then the next thing was presenting. And then the next thing was training and duplication. And so the more you advance, the faster it goes. Right? Initially, it takes a lot of time. Just like when you go on your car and you put on first gear, it's going to require your engine to, you know, a lot of power. But once you get it going in movement, it goes faster and faster, and that's what happened. And today, after all these years, and, you know, years ago where I was struggling and finally learning what he taught me, started advancing my company, and goes faster and faster. And I was actually last year number 7th recruiter in my company. All right, and so if you look at this guy, like this nerd, nobody, you look at, you know, people in the room and you'd say, well, these are nobodies. Well, that's who I was. I was a nobody. And I found my way through, you know, mentorship. He just told me, guided me step by step what to do. And I just revealed, and he's probably going to talk about that now. I don't know what's next, but.
Thank you. By the way,
right.
great job. Yeah. So, it wasn't what I did. I mean, I literally just said, okay, Stephane, what's your lead source? All right, and he says, well, I don't have one particular way. Should I choose one? Yeah, you should choose one. I don't care where they come from. Get your leads, right? So that's number one. Number two is that you're going to have to know how to invite. You got to know what to say. You can't be an idiot. You can't be unrehearsed.